If you haven't joined or you haven't watched any of my videos before, this is me putting it out there to go and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel because we have content that will help you as a young and corporate person. Hello, my lovers. Here again, my name is Lola Kimbo of the Young and Corporate series. If you haven't joined or you haven't watched any of my videos before, this is me putting it out there to go and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel because we have content that will help you as a young and corporate person. And especially if you're just trying to get into the corporate world, I think this channel would help you and encourage you to do that very easily. Today, I'll be talking about the STAR method. Oh my God, this STAR method, before I literally understood the STAR method of responding to behavioral questions, it got me thinking and it got me really worked up. And I'm here to just dissect it and break it down for you. So, most times the interview phases are usually introductory call. Someone is calling you to ask you just to find out a little bit about you before they move you to the next stage of the interview. The next stage, which now becomes the behavioral or technical interview. But most times people have behavioral and technical interviews. So in your behavioral interview, this is where like a senior manager or the hiring manager speaks to you and asks you questions about how you would behave in certain situations at the job or on the job. Now, this is a very, very tough question that has got a lot of people getting or falling out of the job race. Now, there is a certain method there's a certain method that you need to apply when responding to any behavioral question. And how do you identify behavioral questions? They're asking you about how you behaved, how you reacted in certain scenarios on the job. So that is how to identify a an a behavioral question. So now, how do you respond to a behavioral question? I'm sure that a number of you have heard somewhere, somehow, but people say that, oh, to respond to a behavioral question, you have to use the STAR method. And the STAR method is S is situation, T is task, A is action, and R is result. It took a very wonderful fellow to break this down to me early enough to before I attended some of my interviews. And so I will do that for you. So when you think about me, you think about me as that wonderful fellow. And I'm going to try to do this in a way that is very, very easy. So you're not racking your head next time that you have to do it. The situation. What was the scenario? What was the problem? It could be it could be the problem before you joined the organization, or the problem that you faced as a team um, on the job. You know, what was the problem? So then this T is the task. So there was a problem. What is the end goal if you were going to solve this problem? What are you supposed to achieve if you solve the problem? Do you get what I mean? So there's S, there's T, task, then there's A, action. What is everything that you did? What are the things, the actions that you took, the tools that you used, the technical know-hows that you employed to solve this problem? I hope I'm going along. You're coming along with me. And then there's the R. What was the results? What was the result? So let's use a typical example, behavioral question example. I wrote something down and I'm going to share it with you. So imagine that a recruiter says, can you provide an example of a time when you had to work under pressure to meet a deadline? That is a very typical question. I'm sure that a number of you have heard this question during an interview before. So the situation is, during my previous role as a project manager, our team was tasked with delivering a crucial client presentation within a tight deadline. That's a big problem. You have a tight deadline and you have to prepare for a client presentation. And you know that when you have to do this, you're not just talking about the company, you're talking about, you're putting numbers, you're putting graphs, you're trying to impress this client as a project manager. So you need to be very proactive on that one. So, what was the task? So it's personalized now. My goal was to create a comprehensive presentation outlining our proposed marketing strategy for the client's new product launch. So you have to, the goal was, oh, so I'm supposed to present something to him, and it's supposed to be a market strategy for his product launch. But there's a tight deadline. That's the situation. So the goal is, at the end of all this, he's supposed to have a market strategy. So your action. So what did you do to make this happen? So to meet this deadline, I immediately organized a meeting with the cross-functional team to delegate, or with my team to delegate tasks and create a timeline. I assigned specific responsibilities based on each team member's strengths and expertise. This is you now dealing with the problem. You know that you have a tight deadline, you have to like schedule meetings to and assign tasks to the right person within your team based on their expertise. You know, you've started showing that you had managerial skills. You know, there are ways that you talk about the things, your actions that tells a lot about the skills that you have. At this point, you can delegate tasks. You are a manager. You are showing how you are able to take initiative very quickly because you are smart. Additionally, I maintained an open communication channel to address any roadblock or issues. Personally, I took on the task of compiling the research data and designing the presentation slide. I also work closely with the design team to ensure visual elements were aligned with our message. So here, you're working with cross-functional team, you have to work with the design team. Some people have to work with the IT team, so just speak about how you're able to manage cross-functional teams. And this is peculiar to certain job roles, and job that you're applying to. So if you're applying for data analyst, it's going to be a different problem. And I'm sure that you have an idea. But if you don't have an idea of certain problems that you could face, especially if you're just entering into a new job path, I would advise that you use Google. Ask for common behavioral interview questions that could come up in an interview for a data analyst, for a project manager. They give you those kind of questions and you're able to practice and request for responses to using the STAR method. Make sure that in your search you request for responses using the STAR method. AIs will actually label them based on situation, task, action, and result. Result, despite the intense pressure, we successfully completed the presentation ahead of the schedule. The client was impressed with our thorough analysis and creative approach, leading to positive feedback and ultimately securing the contract. Additionally, the experience strengthened our team collaboration, problem solving skills, setting a precedent for future product projects. So, guys, what I wanted to point out was you state your situation, your task, your action, that's everything that you have done, and then your result. What happened after you had done all of that? Make sure that while you talk about your result, there is a lesson learned that could be applicable for the next role or the next project. You state it. And this is where I wrote here that, additionally, the experience strengthened our team's collaboration and problem solving skills, setting a precedent for future products. That means that I have learned that this in this situation and the task that we carried out and the task we're trying to reach and the actions that I carried out, I have learned that I have mastered that My team has developed even deeper collaboration skills and communication skills. And we have learned that these, in case of such scenarios, we would be proactive enough to avoid such risk. So your learning process is very important to the job and to yourself. So I hope that this has helped. Thank you again for joining my YouTube channel, Young and Corporate Series. And I hope that you enjoyed this session, STAR method. In your next behavioral interview, please do well to apply this. It is STAR: situation, task, action, and results. Thank you. I know that you were saying it along with me. Thank you again for joining me. And I hope that you have a very good one. And I hope that you get that dream job. You're going to get that dream job. It's going to be soon. Thank you. Bye, my lovers.